Imagine you are waking up inside the most powerful palace in the ancient world. Outside your window, millions of people live under one empire. The streets are filled with soldiers. The markets are filled with gold. Your husband is not just a man. He is the Emperor of Rome. The most powerful person on earth. You wear the finest clothes money can buy. You have servants waiting for your every command. You live surrounded by luxury that ordinary people can only dream about. But there is one thing everyone forgets. Being the wife of a Roman emperor was not a life of freedom. It was a life where every smile had a meaning. Every conversation had a risk. Every friendship could become a political threat. Because inside the Roman palace, the greatest danger was not outside enemies. It was the people standing closest to you. The story of Roman empresses is not only about beauty, wealth, and power. It is a story about women who lived in a world controlled by men, yet influenced some of the biggest decisions in human history. They could not command armies officially. They could not sit on the Senate floor. They could not wear the title of emperor. But behind the throne, they shaped the empire. And sometimes, they paid the highest price for that power. To understand the life of a Roman empress, you first have to understand Roman society. Ancient Rome was built around men. The father controlled the family. The husband controlled the household. Political power belonged almost completely to men. A woman's public role was limited. She was expected to represent the family, produce children, and maintain honor. But the wife of an emperor was different. Her position was unique. She was not simply a wife. She was the mother of future emperors. The connection between powerful families. A symbol of the stability of Rome itself. And because of that, her personal life became public property. People watched what she wore, who she spoke to, where she went. Even her expressions could become political messages. Imagine being married to the emperor. Every day you wake up knowing thousands of people are judging you. If you appear too ambitious, people fear you. If you appear too quiet, people think you are weak. If you influence your husband, people accuse you of controlling him. If you stay away from politics, you may lose your protection. It was an impossible balance. A Roman empress had to be powerful enough to survive. But never so powerful that people believed she wanted the throne herself. One of the earliest examples was Livia Drusilla. She became the wife of Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. At first glance, she appeared to be the perfect Roman woman. Elegant, calm, loyal. But behind this image was a woman with extraordinary political intelligence. Augustus transformed Rome from a republic into an empire. And Livia was beside him during this transformation. She advised him. She protected the image of the imperial family. She helped create the idea that the emperor's household represented Rome itself. She had no official government position. No military title. Yet her influence was undeniable. This created something new in Roman history. A woman who could shape the empire without officially ruling it. But palace life was not only about influence. It was also about survival. Because the Roman imperial family was full of competition. The biggest threat was often not a foreign enemy. It was another family member. Every emperor needed an heir. And every possible heir created a political battle. A mother whose son could become emperor suddenly became one of the most important people in Rome. But that also made her dangerous. Because in Rome, family was power. And power always created enemies. Agrippina the Younger is one of the clearest examples. She was the daughter of a powerful Roman family. The sister of an emperor. The wife of an emperor. And the mother of Nero, who would later become emperor. Agrippina understood something important. In Roman politics, controlling the future was more valuable than controlling the present. She worked to place her son Nero in a position of power. When Nero became emperor, she became one of the most influential women in Rome. For a short time, it seemed like she had achieved something almost impossible. A woman was shaping the empire from inside the palace. But power between mother and son could not last forever. Eventually Nero wanted complete independence. And the same influence that helped create an emperor became the reason she became a threat. Her story ended with betrayal and death. A reminder that in the Roman palace, even family love could become a political weapon. The life of a Roman empress was also surrounded by luxury. They lived in massive villas. They wore gold jewelry. They had access to the finest food and clothing in the empire. Their hairstyles became fashion trends. Their portraits appeared on coins. Their image traveled across Roman territories. But this beauty had a purpose. It was not only about appearance. It was propaganda. A perfect empress represented a perfect empire. Her image told people, Rome is stable. The emperor has a strong family. The future is secure. But behind the beautiful image was a darker reality. Roman emperors had enemies everywhere. And their wives became targets. Rumors were powerful weapons. A simple accusation could destroy a woman's reputation. Ancient historians often described powerful Roman women as manipulative or dangerous. But historians today question many of these stories. Because most written accounts came from powerful men. And sometimes history remembers ambitious women differently from ambitious men. A powerful man was called a leader. A powerful woman was often called dangerous. One of the most controversial examples was Messalina, the wife of Emperor Claudius. Ancient writers described her as one of Rome's most scandalous women. They claimed she abused her position and used her influence for personal gain. But because many stories were written by political opponents, historians continue debating how much of the story is accurate. What is clear is this. Being close to the emperor gave a woman enormous influence. But it also made her a perfect target. The Roman empress lived in a strange contradiction. She had more wealth than almost any woman in history. But less personal freedom than people might imagine. She could influence kings. But she could not openly rule. She could change history. But she could not officially write her own name into it. When we look back at the Roman Empire, we usually remember emperors. Augustus. Nero. Caesar. The generals. The battles. The conquests. But behind many of these men were women who helped shape decisions, protect families, and influence the direction of Rome. They lived in a world where power was dangerous. Where success created enemies. Where the palace could be both a paradise and a prison. The life of a Roman emperor's wife was not simply a story of luxury. It was a story of survival. Because in ancient Rome, the closer you were to the throne, the more dangerous your life became.